This will sound weird, but I just find that I love these women. I don't know them, but I love them. And because they haven't been loved by the people that should have loved them, should have cared for them, should have protected them, I feel that I want to take the place of whoever should have done that. So it's a very, very sad thing to deal with. As a police officer, 30 years I've been investigating crime, and I've learned to compartmentalise. You can't bring your emotions home all the time. You can't think about things all the time, but still you do. Still you do.
She was a very calm and quiet person. She loved to see people happy. She did not like arguments. She didn't want people raising their voice. She hated it. She just wanted a happy life. She wanted, a family.
I'm wondering if you want to speak. Who killed Banaz? You're innocent, then who killed Banaz? Who killed Banaz?
People following me, or still now they follow me. Anytime, if anything happens to me, it's them.
They killed her there just for being in love. I mean, sometimes I am thinking why love should be so hated.
If she was in my life would be orange and yellow.
Banaz lived here.
A young Kurdish woman in London is the victim of a so-called honour killing. Coming up, the crime her family says she committed that led
Banaz disappeared in 2006.
Banaz was a caring, loving young woman with the whole of her life in front of her. And that life has been brutally cut short by the very people that should have loved her and protected her.
Caroline Good led the search for her body and her killers. All that is left is a few fragments of her life.
I've never seen a photograph in that house of Banaz. There's not a single photograph of Banaz on display. I guess they don't want to remember her. My take on that was that they simply wanted to erase her from the earth and therefore to be no trace of her.
Banaz's family tried to erase her because they thought she'd brought them dishonor. This is her story. She was born in Iraq in 1985. She had a brother and 4 sisters.
She had a nickname, Nazca, means softness, like delicate. Like how a newborn lamb, like soft baby, or delicate flower, That was her nickname, Nazca.
Bekal is her older sister. She wears a veil, not because she wants to, but because she has to. She lives in hiding because she testified against her own family. She agreed to give us an interview to preserve Banaz's memory.
She had long eyelashes, hazel eyes, she had apple cheekbones, she had this heart-shaped face. She had the most gorgeous dumpling chin, like she had a little dimple in her chin. She was beautiful. I mean, you could look at her forever.
In the countries that we are from, women has absolutely no rights. No rights for custody for children, no rights for divorce, no rights to choose their partner.
Part of this control is the control of their sexuality. For the sisters, they started early in life.
I recall I was about 8. My dad and all the men was all going out of the house. My dad took a different jacket or a coat with him, and I thought, why didn't he take this one? So I see this bottle of alcohol sticking out of it. I took something else out. It was a big bundle of cotton wool and a big blade, just a raw blade. Half an hour later, I hear screaming from my grandma's bedroom, and my sister was dragged to that room. She was stripped, waist down, and they performed that on her. While you're awake, not sedated, no numbness, no nothing, just flesh just cut off you. Me and my cousin, as soon as we saw that, we ran as fast as we could. I did not want to go into that room.
Apart from the youngest daughter in the family, all of the other sisters were circumcised.
You wouldn't imagine that needing to be done. And then it was my turn. I was fighting. I did not want to be going through that. As she's gone to cut me, she's turned to look where the alcohol bottle is, and she's cut me so badly. It's one of those things that you wouldn't wish on your enemy. Apparently, it's done to keep a woman so you don't feel sexual, and they're trying to basically stop you from feeling that way.
Banaz's family came to London in 1995 as refugees from Saddam Hussein. She was 10 years old.
We really know very little about Banaz's early life. Most of the information that I have comes from her teacher. Teacher spoke very, very highly of Banaz. She was very soft and nurturing and really acted as a little mother towards her younger sisters.
She was just an ordinary kid growing up in South London.
She had to struggle with different culture, home culture, British culture, and she had all her life ahead of her.
I don't think that young woman had any social network whatsoever. Now, Banaz had no friends at all that I'm aware of.
We appealed for friends of Banaz, but no one came forward.
Banaz's father is Mahmoud. He is the eldest of the brothers, and Ari is the younger brother.
It was Ari. He had all the power over the family because he was a very wealthy man.
When our forefathers came to Western Shores, they didn't leave all their cultural hang-ups and all their baggage. Their culture came with them. It was part of it.
For a lot of immigrant men, coming over to a Western country involves quite a drop in status.
You know, Mahmoud and Ari Mahmoud, well, they were tribal people. It's harder for the men and the boys to give up what was their primacy in their home culture. And so the men take refuge in what are established cultural mores for them.
And this can lead to a kind of intensification of this need to retrieve some kind of dignity from keeping control of their sisters, of their wives.
Bekal wanted to live life like any teenager. But soon she ran into trouble with her father.
I wasn't allowed to have my nails long. I wasn't allowed to pluck my eyebrows. You know, perfume. all of those kind of things.
Women have much more autonomy here. Women deal with that well because, of course, it gives them something they've not had before. But for the men, it's much harder because the women who would unquestionably obey them in the past perhaps don't have that attitude in the same way. And certainly for the generation growing up, it's much more difficult because all their friends, what they see on the television, all cultural influences tend to suggest they should have autonomy and the power to make their own decisions. And then, of course, their family structures are the opposite of that.
I was getting a lot of beatings, I have to say. It was a lot of nasty beatings, you know. I left home when I left several times, but the first time I think I left, I was just under 16.
Mahmoud had tried unsuccessfully to persuade her to come back to the family home. He was seen to lose face within the community because he couldn't control what his daughters were doing.
I don't think we really understand, as Westerners, what it's like to have a big collective family, to have a family name, to have a family reputation. We're a very individualistic society. The family name is like a brand.
And it's about your reputation. It's literally about your face, how you are perceived by others.
If they have a woman that doesn't conform, then that is going to impact upon them. They might be cut out of the economic life of the community. They might not be able to shop, they might not be able to trade, because their behaviour reflects not upon themselves, but upon everyone around them, upon the whole collective, the whole family, the whole community.
In 2002, the family tried to restore its honour.
When I left home, I still kept in contact with my brother. I would call him every now and then. And I remember this particular time when I called him, he was very persuasive. He was very, adamant that he wanted to meet me.
He lured her to a remote location and he got her to carry a suitcase, walk along that path in front of me, don't turn around, don't look at what I'm doing.
And he just hit me over the head with a dumbbell, a single arm weight. He put his arm around my neck, lifting me off my feet almost. Me panicking, I started moving around, trying to get myself free from him. I bit his arm in the bend of his arm, and he let go, and then I dropped to the floor. He's trying to drag me by my feet on my back, and I kicked on his knee, and he let go of me, and I stopped him. I said to him, look what you're doing. You're actually trying to kill me. And I'm saying this, screaming it out to him, and he stopped for a minute and he started crying like a woman, really, really crying. And he said, I'm really sorry, but I'm the big boy, I'm the big man after my dad. I have to do this, put a shame to an end. That is exactly his words, actually. And he told me that my dad actually paid him. My dad paid him to do this to me. His plan was basically to kill me. So he had to take care of me, try and get rid of me, the problem.